Hello, this is Taylor Elwood, your internal alchemist at inneralchemy.com. Today I'm going to talk about fear. I'm talking about fear because of a recent situation where I actually made a mistake, and I did it because of fear. I let my fear of what I thought other people would think decide my actions, and needless to say, it ended up creating more problems for me than anything else because I wasn't honest with myself about why I was choosing to make a particular choice. So when I did become honest with myself, I was able to see just how much of an idiot I made myself be. And that's something that happens a lot of times, I think, with people. We make mistakes, and then we look back and we say, why did I do that? And we end up discovering something very profound. And it's that more often than not, the reason we make certain choices is out of fear, as opposed to making them from a place of better value. For myself, when I look at my choices in my life, I really have to look at why I'm making them. And while I've gotten better at doing it, I'll be the first to admit I still sometimes make choices for the wrong reasons, or from a place of emotion such as fear, where the result ends up being something I'm not very happy with. Fear, you have the one line from Dune that fear is the mind killer. I don't know if fear is really the mind killer, but I do know that when you let fear control your actions, what you're really doing is reacting. You're reacting to what you fear. And that fear can really can stop you from really seeing clearly what your options and choices are. I think it's really important to own your fear, to not let it own you, to own it, to acknowledge it, because we're always going to feel fear, and that's all right. There's nothing wrong with feeling fear. It's just letting fear control you. That's the issue. So when you're in a situation, it's really important to look at, why am I making this choice? What is the emotional basis for this choice? Why have I chosen this particular choice over another choice? And you may be surprised. Fear, more often than not, is a choice that is made, or when a choice is made out of fear, it really is made out of a fear of losing something, or a fear of someone, or a fear of something. And the problem with it is that you're allowing that fear to control how you think about it, and you're not really looking at the situation and saying, well, is this really a choice I want to make? Is this a choice I'm making from a healthy place? Some could argue that fear sometimes can be healthy, and I would say that that's true. I mean, if you're in a house with somebody who's just tried to kill you and you somehow manage to escape, you are going to be afraid, and your fear is definitely going to help you, because it's going to say, get out of there, get away from that place. And that's a smart move to make. So fear has its place, but again, it's important to recognize when fear is stopping us from really seeing the consequences for our actions, when fear is stopping us from recognizing how we're approaching a situation. What you're afraid of can conquer you unless you're willing to own it and say, I take responsibility for this fear and I acknowledge it. Now, let's see where else I can approach this situation from, and really look at it from all angles. So the next time you feel afraid in regards to the decision you're making, stop and ask yourself, what is it that I'm afraid of? Why am I afraid of that? What will the consequences be if I act on this fear? Do I like those consequences? Do I want those consequences? If you don't want the consequences, then it's probably a good idea to look at your decision and revise it accordingly. Thanks for watching, and see you next week.